Welcome Unnati to the YouTube channel CAT2IIM by Manoj Mahajan. Unnati is a pass out from IIM Shillong. So today we are going to look at the CAT2IIM success story with Unnati. So users who are watching the video, make sure that you watch till the end so that you get the best advice from the achiever. So Unnati, let us know about your profile first so that the users know about you.
Yeah, so I completed my MBA from IIM Shillong in the year 2025, after which I am currently working as a consulting analyst. And talking of my academics, in 10th, I had a 10 CGPA, after which in 12th, I had science PCB and I scored 90.4 percentage. Then I had a gap year as I prepared for NEET exam. After which I changed my subjects. I did a BBA, a 3-year graduation program in which I scored 85 percentage, and I appeared for CAT 2022 in which I had a 97.82 percentile. Talking of my category, I am a general non-engineer female, and I did not had any work experience before joining Shillong, so I entered IIM Shillong as a fresher in 2023.
Okay, so your journey from a NEET aspirant to do an MBA. And being a non-engineer, like you scored 90 plus percentile in the con section of CAT 2022. So just let us know so that students who are weak in quant or maybe they are non-engineer, they get some advice from you how to score well in the quant section. Actually, they are afraid of. So what was your preparation strategy for the quant section?
Yeah, so being a non-engineer, quant was a bit tough, but consistency and regular practice helped me. So I did not had a touch with maths since my class 11th. I last studied it in class 10th. But when I started preparing for CAT, I focused more on it. I used to do regular practice. And also I made the key strategy, there are some topics in quant, for example, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, which have a higher weightage in the exam as compared to other topics. So I focused on those topics which were my key strength. For example, arithmetic and geometry were my strengths. So I focused more on those. I prepared in such a way that I could solve the easier, moderate, and hard questions of these topics. And for other topics like algebra and PNC were my weaknesses. So I managed to do only the easier questions of these topics. So I had a strategy that the strength topics, I have to do all the questions. And for the topics which are not as strong as those, I only managed to do the easier ones. And again, doing like practice and solving more and more questions on those things helped me in gaining a 90 plus percentile in CAT.
Okay, and apart from the live classes for the quant, did you also repeat recordings as and when required?
Yes, yes, obviously. I used to do all the recordings on repeat, and for those topics which were not my strength, for example, algebra and PNC, I even did the recordings twice or thrice until I was self-aware that yes, now I can do those questions. And after that, I used to do more practice questions on it also to gain more knowledge and like have a strong hand at that.
So what I'm understanding is the concept clarity is required, and wherever you found tough, you look forward to repeat the recordings. And of course, the practice and the revision also played a vital role. So as I
Yes.
keep saying to the students, repeating is great. So Unnati focused on certain areas which has a good weightage in the CAT. But to everyone, I would suggest that if you are aiming for a very high percentile in the con section, somewhere closer to 98, 99, make sure that you focus on all the modules. And if you look, you're not targeting just CAT when you're preparing for the B school entrance exam. There are other exams as well, like NMAT, SNAP, ZAT. So in the ZAT also, like geometry can be tested huge, which is not much tested in the CAT paper. So make sure that you are ready with all the modules so that you can do very well and prepared yourself in such a way that you have enough time. So, Unnati, we wanted to ask you your journey with CAT to IIM from a beginner to an achiever.
Yeah, so like the journey was very like I learned a lot, and when I started, I had no idea like what I'll be doing, how to do it. I was also afraid that I did not had a connect with maths. How will I manage it? And switching my career from a bio student to BBA and MBA was a tough decision as well.
Yeah, I
But
keep
when I
saying Chandni Chowk to China, right? Anna? Okay.
yes. So, like, but when I started and with your guidance, I was able to do it. And whenever I got struck, I used to ask questions like twice or thrice and many times until I get a clarity on the concepts, practice more on the topics which were difficult for me, and have consistency, was regular in classes, attending the classes, and the classes which I use, which I felt that I have to repeat, I used to repeat it on a regular basis as well. So all these things have helped. Plus, your one-to-one mentoring sessions were the key breaker in my preparation. Whenever I got struck, I used to ask you that how to do this, how to do that, and even the like smallest of doubt and smallest of question was every time solved. So that was one of the key breaker in my preparation, the one-to-one mentoring sessions. And after completing CAT also, like in the GDPI preparations also, those sessions helped a lot.
The PI mentoring you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay. So as you all are aware of by now that she has scored 97.82 percentile overall in the CAT 2022, and in the con section 90 plus percentile she had. So one last question from our side, Unnati. Any particular advice you want to give to the future CAT and OMTs aspirants?
Yeah, so one thing is that consistency is the key plus a strategy. Have a regular practice and make the strategy which will suit you the best. How will you attempt the questions? Selecting the questions, especially in Quant and LRDI, is very important, selecting the right sets. So, having the right strategy and having consistency will help a lot. There will be times when in mocks you will be scoring as low as like even I scored as low as 40 percentile, and there were times when I scored 80 plus 90 percentile even in the mocks. But regular practice and seeing on what things you have, what mistakes you have made, and then clarifying those mistakes and not repeating it in the next mock is very important. So mock analysis, like you also used to say that spend more time on the mock analysis rather than appearing for the mock. So all these things helped, and this is the only thought which I would like to give to the aspirants.
Thank you, Unnati, for the advice. Yes, of course, the mock analysis take much more time as compared to the time spent in giving the mocks. And a lot of students actually lack on this part, so they don't do thorough analysis. So the analysis is important, and then of course, whatever you have learned through the analysis, you have to apply in the next mocks. And as I keep saying, never give up. So Unnati also has scored as low as 40 percentile as she is mentioning out here in the mocks. So finally, she got 97.82 percentile in the CAT 2022. So we wish a lot of success in the future to Unnati. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And all the best to all the aspirants.